Hey third graders, hey, I wanted to do a little video of something that you guys could use at home with mom and dad. I have a recipe that I needed to make today. It is a banana bread recipe because I have some rotten bananas that need to be used. So I decided to make a banana bread recipe. But I was wondering if I was going to double the batch, how much ingredients would I use for each one? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you, I needed flour. So the first ingredients that we're going to put in there is flour, and they are asking for 1 3/4 cups of flour. So if I need that, I know I'm going to double that amount. So I have 1 unit of 1, or I will have 2 units of 1 plus my 2 units of 3/4. So in order to do that, I'm going to do a number line, and I'm going to label this 0, but then I'm also going to label this over here 4, and I will tell you why. Well, I think you'll figure out why when we get there. So I need to partition my my number line into, if I partitioned it in half, and this is 0 and this is 1, what would this be? 2. So then I partition this in half, and this would be 1, and I would partition between the 2 and the 4, and that would be 3. Okay, so first I need to find where my 1 3/4 is. So I know that my denominator is in fourths, so I have to partition this unit of 1 into fourths. I have to partition this unit of 1 into fourths. I have to partition this unit of 1 into fourths, and I have to partition this unit of 1 into fourths. So if I partition in fourths this unit of 1, and partition in fourths this unit of 1, and partition in fourths this unit of 1, and partition in fourths this unit of 1, I have each unit of 1 partitioned into fourths. So then I can actually number my units, my fourth units. So we have 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, 4/4, 5/4, 6/4, 7/4, 8/4, and I could continue on and keep going. But if you notice, my 1 3/4 cups of flour is not in these improper fractions. It's in a mixed fraction here. So I've got to label up here my mixed fraction. So this is the same 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, 1. This is 1 1/4. This is 1 2/4. And this is 1 3/4. So this is how much the 7/4, the 1 3/4, this is how much flour I need for one recipe. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to count my jumps here. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So here's my 7/4, my 1 3/4 cups of flour. If I'm going to double that, I'm going to count 7 more fourths, and that's going to tell me how much flour I need. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So if we look at here, we know that this is the 3. We have 3 1/4 and 3 2/4. And we've talked about that 2/4 is equivalent to a half. It's right there in the middle between the 3 and the 4. So if I was going to double my batch of banana bread, I would need 3 1/2, or you could also write it 3 2/4 cups of flour. So this is just an activity that you guys could do at home. This one, I think this one was a little bit trickier, but let's actually do one of the other recipes, or one of the other ingredients that they had in my banana bread recipe was vegetable oil. And that vegetable oil, they wanted a half a cup of vegetable oil for one recipe. So I know that if I have a half, this is for one recipe, then I would need another one for another recipe. So I would have to have 1 whole cup of vegetable oil for my recipe if I doubled it. One other thing that they had that we could do a number line on is that they wanted, for one recipe, they wanted 1/4 cup of buttermilk. So I know that if I add 1/4 cup of buttermilk, this is 0, this is 1, I have to, if they want 1/4, this is my denominator, I know I have to partition my number line into units of fourths. So I'm going to partition into units of fourths. This is 1/4. This is how much I need for one recipe. So 1/4 here. If I need another one to double my recipe, this is 2/4. So in order to get enough for my 2 recipes, I would have to have 2/4, or we also know that's equivalent to 1/2 because it's in between the 0 and the 1, right in the middle of between 0 and 1. So hopefully that helps you. Hopefully you could look at a recipe today with your mom and dad and see if you can figure out if you doubled the recipe, maybe if you wanted to triple the recipe, if you really wanted to make a lot of cookies or a lot of banana bread. Try to figure out with your parents using this model if you could figure out how to double that recipe using fractions.